Hello there, people. My name is Shadow, or if you want to call me Shadow Vakra or Vekra, I don't really care. But before I get into this, subscribe. I make a lot of content. I've been streaming often on Twitch, and I'm going to be making more YouTube videos, so you should subscribe so you don't miss anything. And I know what you're saying by the side of this video, and no, this is about, yes, of course, this is about our baby demon slayer. But before you get on my ass, before that happens, let's give me a chance. Now, yes, I know my title is very aggressive, but I have a very aggressive personality. And before we fully get into this, I want to just say I'm using the Demon Slayer mod for Minecraft, so we are able to see for my talk, so that you're able to see their models and like everything about them. So it's not me just talking at a picture, because I thought this would be more interesting. And they are confined, yes they are, but don't question me, all right? Oh, Nezuko's always dying. Anyway, so there are a lot of characters in Demon Slayer. That is true, and I'm not saying that they're bad. Now, I'm not saying all of them are bad. Now, this is coming from someone who likes to write, and listen to me. By all means, am I not saying that I'm a professional writer? I am not a professional writer at this point in time, so these are all my opinions, and most of them are actually pretty good. I just have like a few, they're not really like me hating this character at all. It's more of like plot holes, but that mostly comes from the fact that, as you know, as people that are really invested in Demon Slayer would know, the author didn't want to end it when she did, but circumstances led to it. So I fully believe that if they were able to do it how they wanted to, these plot holes would be gone. But because of how they are, there are some like inconsistencies, I guess, that are not that they're bad, but like I'd love to see more like of their personality, you know? And one of them that I feel did not get a lot of screen time at all, just in my opinion. Most of the problems I feel come from the demons themselves, but that could be also just like authors' decisions or stuff. It's just up to them. But it's not even an issue I have with this Kanao. Spoilers, it's Kanao. But I wanted to see, that's not Kanao, that is Kanao. No, that's not. That looks like Shinobu. I'm going crazy. Here she is. My issue is, I know her, the main part of her story, of course, is that she couldn't feel emotions for a long time, and then she gains them through her experiences, but you only really see her when she's starting to shift, because when she's first introduced, of course, like you see her briefly when she's like that, and she explains how she's emotionless, but you don't actually really see it for yourself. I mean, like, you somewhat do through backstory and stuff, but I would like to have seen it like in the moment. I'm saying like a lot. Seeing it in the moment and seeing just what the issues came with it. Because you see it briefly where she keeps on saying goodbye to Tanjiro because she doesn't know how to talk to him. But I'd like to have seen more about the coin flip and her making these decisions based on it. And just how that would work for her and how she had connections to people. But I guess because she's not a main character, that doesn't really happen often. And I understand that. Okay, so in this whole... stop trying to escape me. Okay, so I couldn't get in there. I'm getting trapped. I'm trapping myself. Oh, I can just come in through here. Anyway, so demons. The issue I have, and this is sad, because a lot of them get good characterization, like this boy. And oh, is the boy I'm talking about not here? Oh, I need to pull him up then. Hakuji. Here he is. This boy, because you get Now, I haven't read the full manga, but I've seen a lot of it, and I've read most of it, you know, and I know most of what happens. But the issue I have is that Gyoko, Daki get a huge thing, where you get to know their characters very well. Akaza gets it. You get to really understand... Where's Akaza? Here he is. You get to really understand his point of view and everything. Kokushiba, you really get to understand it. Doma, you'll see him later. He's not in this room. You really get to understand him. You don't really see a lot of him, of this boy. You don't see a lot of him. You don't really know. You like get like one scene about his backstory, but that's it. And he was such like a major fighter in this story with Mitsuri and everyone versing him, and his demon art was so cool. And I just would have I wanted to see more. Like I wanted, because it kind of makes sense how these demons got their powers. Well, because Akaza, he was a martial artist, and Kokushibo, I think that's his name, is his name from now on in my heart. He was a swordsman and everything, but you don't really understand and with Gyoko, he had the scythe because he was using scythes when he died. Well, died in quotation marks, he becomes a demon. But you don't really see a lot about him. I don't really know anything about him. Even Kaigaku gets better treatment than him. Move a little. Kaigaku gets better treatment than him, and he's just, I know he's like connected to Zenitsu, but like he was barely an Upper Moon, and this guy was an Upper Moon for a long time, but you got like nothing. You got like basically a snippet, and I haven't like deep dived for this, but I haven't seen this guy's backstory either. I don't know anything about him. I haven't seen it myself. I've seen fan art of what he would look like as a human, but like I don't know anything about these two characters, and there's such like big parts of the story that I'm disappointed that I didn't get to see any of them, you know? And I just really would have enjoyed getting to know their character because I said because somebody has. The point is, because I knew about their characters, that one made me really connect with Akaza. If you don't know, you probably don't. Akaza is one of my favorite characters in this whole story because his backstory is so interesting and so like tragic that it really makes you connect with him. And you get to understand what's going through his head, and you get to understand what's going through her head, and her brother's head, and everyone's head. I don't know what the fuck is happening with this man. Like, I don't know. Or this boy. All I know is that the blurbs that say he's kind of like, he's like into art or something, and he's really jealous of people, but I want to know more. I want to know what led them to become demons, but you don't get that information. And it's really sad because they're like a major part, and they were Upper Moons for so long that I wish I got more of an in-depth thing of them. Now, of course, this is just my opinion. Don't call me out for hating the artist, because that's not true. It's just how I feel at this moment about, shit. Anyway, there's a cavern here, and there's a reason why there's a cavern here. And if I could go down, Uzui, do not come down with me, because you will get murderedly murdered. It's because he despawned. No, he despawned. Doma lives in here. This is Doma's home. I put him in jail. But anyway, Doma you really get to know, and it's very interesting in the fact that it makes you hate him. Well, it's like you can't really sympathize with this man because he doesn't really feel anything, so he doesn't feel remorse for anything that he's done. And basically that whole shit. But he and like Akaza have this really cool like duality to them that I wish I could have seen in. Oh shit! I left myself out. That I wish I could have seen in Doma, not Doma. Doma's who I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Hakuji. I wish I could have seen more of him and like understand like what makes him tick as a person or as a demon. Because he's not technically human anymore, but technicalities. But the point is, you don't really get a lot of him, and it's really sad. Also, Aloy. I've heard a lot of shit, and she was very interesting. She's like this very snarky woman that like takes no shit from anybody. But I thought they were building her up to something. It was rumored that they were building up to something, and I looked at her writing. I'm like, yeah, they probably are, but it kind of goes nowhere. And I think that's because she ended it when she didn't want to. But it would have been so interesting for her to get like her own plot or her own like coming of age story, I guess. But that's basically it. I don't have a lot of issues. It's just ones that I thought would be interesting to talk about, I guess. Coming from the fact that I like this show a lot and it's very interesting and I love it to pieces, but there's some things I wish were there and like I wish happened, and I think they would have really enhanced the story, and I don't know what to do about it, and because it's you kind of can't do anything about it, and it sucks. It does suck because you don't get to see your characters like fleshed out fully, even though I don't really like the pot guy because he's ugly as fuck. I still wanted to know about him, and because I guess that's just the writer in me, because I want to know everything about everybody, and some stories you don't get to learn that, and I understand that, but they gave hints about Wood Boy's personality boys backstory, and I'm like, I would have rather seen nothing or any. I would rather have seen everything or nothing, if you get me. I would have rather known everything I could than nothing, because it would have it just makes me want to know more that I'm probably never gonna find out, you know? And it's really disappointing. This has just turned into a Hakuji press piece. This is Hakuji's story. Anyway, so that's basically it. And if you want to hear more, I do have a lot of opinions on a certain Tokyo Revengers that I'd love to share. And it's a lot more intense than this one. But I'd love to hear from you people. So give me a shout. Bye!